we're going to begin this podcast with an introductory interview with the our doomsayer and the host of this podcast, Morgan Rogers. So first, Morgan, I have to ask you, before we talk about the podcast, how did you get into role-playing games?
I first encountered role playing games through listening to The Adventure Zone, which is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, primarily. They've gone through some other game systems since I started listening, but I've been listening to The Adventure Zone for years. It made me want to try playing role playing games. It meant that I ended up organizing a bunch of role playing games, and almost all of the games that I've organized have ended up being online, international, through Discord sessions. So this podcast is no different. I'm living in France. My partner Eike is living in Italy, and the three other current party members, including yourself, are in the UK most of the time.
I can confirm this. So what point did you take the leap from listening to role-playing podcasts and setting up games to wanting to found and host a podcast in your own right?
I decided a few years ago now that I wanted to do this. I'd been listening to The Adventure Zone and some other narrative podcasts and really enjoying the collaborative storytelling on the one hand and the direct interaction with your audience when you're the person that is pulling the strings behind the scenes. I had some experience running sessions before this, as I mentioned, and
again, as I can confirm,
I had some ideas. So the first series of sessions I ran involved some teleportation stones, which were these massively overpowered artifacts that all of the players received very early on in their game. And I had in mind that this would be explored as a mechanic and exploited. But in the end, that's not how it went. Like, most of the times that players actually used these stones, it was after me reminding them that they had them and they could make the tasks that they were facing much easier. So in A Bell Chimes, I had another idea that I want to explore, but this time the focus is really on the party, the adventure, and not relying on the actions of the players to uncover my plans, using the natural flow of the narrative to reveal piece by piece what I've been hiding all this time. And I'm hoping that's going to lead to something more exciting.
So what is it about Best Left Buried that made you want to made you choose this as the platform to use for running this podcast, as opposed to any of the role-playing game systems that you have run?
One of the games that I participated in was run by Ben, who is now very kindly interviewing me. And Ben used Best Left Buried because of his involvement in the system. And there are a bunch of things that I like about it over better known systems like Dungeons and Dragons, for instance. Firstly, the simplicity of the mechanics. There are obviously other simple game systems out there, but this was the first one that I'd encountered, like, actually using, which wasn't a one-shot adventure design. The fact that it included, amongst the mechanics, a way for there to be psychological consequences of the actions of the players. And, in Dungeons and Dragons, the aim is for the players to feel heroic and to be able to easily recover as long as they don't die, they will typically recover to full strength and power, and the challenge comes from ever escalating power levels in the threats that they're encountering. And, that increasingly epic staging can be very exciting, but it's not very nuanced. Like, people get more and more familiar with how the game works and have a lot of fun exploring what the possibilities are in that direction. But from a narrative point of view, I wanted something that enabled there to be serious consequences. We've ended up taking it in a light-hearted direction because, it's more fun to be able to joke around with your friends. But these mechanics still mean that those consequences can be explored from like a third-person perspective, where it's not the players that are suffering, but their characters are. And I'm looking forward to seeing where that leads.
Yes, I seem to recall that in some of the games that Best Left Buried I ran, some of them were defined, I suppose, by the brutality with which we treated players' precious characters, that I think is a contrast to the way that other systems often end up functioning.
Yeah.
So, what are your highs and lows of the podcast so far?
The primary one for me, as the Doomsayer, has been that I haven't had to manipulate the direction of things, in the sense that the setup in Best Left Buried is that the characters are cryptdiggers, so they have a mission, which is already a lot more directed than I've managed to be with previous games that I've run. And in particular, that the players have not yet missed anything. Everything that Ben and I have planned has appeared in the story so far. And, obviously, there's bound to be loose ends sooner or later, because you want players to be role-playing rather than exhaustively searching every space that you put in front of them. But having that work pay off is always pretty satisfying.
And is there a low?
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed that the wolves haven't been that effective so far.
Effective in what sense?
In killing the players. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
You're disappointed there has not yet been a character.
Yeah, I haven't given them too much of a challenge. They've only had to face one at a time so far, but the fact that they have managed to deal several critical hits to these wolves, yeah, it's a bit disheartening. I want to present the players with a challenge.
So, finally, what one piece of advice would you give? Well, what pieces of advice would you give to listeners who are planning to act as Doomsayer in a game like Best Left Buried, and to listeners who might want to begin a podcast in which they act as Doomsayer in a game of Best Left Buried?
For playing the game, I'd say have fun thinking about the monsters that you want to present your characters with, and take every opportunity to describe in gruesome detail the horrors that the players encounter, because that's what this game system is all about. And consequences. Loads of consequences. As far as starting a podcast is concerned, I used the McElroy's podcasting book. Everyone has a podcast except you. Thanks, McElroy's, for that. It's a very light-hearted read, and in particular makes light of the overhead that's required to start a podcast. It's really a lot of work to get the ball rolling, but I think things are going to go a lot more smoothly from here, and I wouldn't have believed it was possible. I might not have followed through if it hadn't been for that good advice. So I guess I'd recommend that book, as well as, of course, Best Left Buried Deeper, the Doomsayer's Guide.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Morgan. And with that, let's get on with the show.
Ooh. Last time, our adventurers found themselves deep in a cave whose walls, ceilings, and floors are smooth and slightly slimy. More specifically, they had come across two shepherds known to be lost to the wolves, and right at the end of the episode, having fought off some wolf fetuses, they came across the beleaguered Erewhon tank, beside himself in grief and with little remaining of his sanity, who was just in the process of bathing the top of his head with acid. Roll a grip check.
I haven't even said anything yet.
God damn. This is the second grip check
right.
this guy's cost us.
This game's great.
I don't think I passed the grip check.
I think
Oh,
I
dear.
lost the grip.
Finally,
I
this
don't know.
is the
Something
first one I've ever
happened.
failed. This is the
Okay,
line.
Mabel rolled a 4 plus 1 is a 5, not enough. Oh, no, my apologies. That's what Josh rolled on behalf of Victor Von Thorn. Victor Von Thorn rolled a
1 and a 3.
4. No, wait, you have plus 1 will. A 5 total.
Same div.
Mabel rolled a 7 total. Caradon rolled a... What's your will, Jamie?
6.
Sorry?
2.
Wait,
It's
is
worth
it the
a
first one
try.
mine? No.
You rolled
Isn't
a
the
5
first one
total, huh?
mine? No, the first one is mine. So I lost the grip.
The order that I got it in is you rolled a 12.
To me, it's first me, then Jamie.
Oh, well, you're after like the previous ones that I've mentioned.
Yeah, that's what I see as well.
Well, would you rather lose a grip?
No, I'm good. Jamie
Okay.
can lose one.
I see a 12 plus 3 for you, which is really inconsiderate.
No, it's a will check, and she doesn't have any as well. So
yeah, okay.
it's just a flat 12, you know,
Just a 12.
just a flat perfect success. And Vitellius rolled a 4 plus. What's the modifier, Ben?
Vitellius is 1 for will.
Plus 1 is a 5.
So not enough.
So everyone other than Anchor failed that grip check.
Wow. Who knew that?
After seeing this poor old man removing his own hair with acidic
I
ectoplasm.
mean, that seems reasonable.
Didn't I give
Yeah.
out a grip check for like spiders, was it? I can't remember. What was that else? Anyway, don't.
Okay.
I think I'm used to it, and the main reason why I didn't, I did a great job at this because bagel believers.
You see this all the time.
Okay. Anyone want to react in character to this scene?
Oh my!
Oh my god, what the fuck is he doing? That's disgusting.
Disgusting.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Ben. That was very good. I shouldn't have found it so funny. It's just an accent.
That poor man.
Well, Anchor, since you passed the grip check, roll an observation check as you coolly survey the scene.
Okay, it was 2d6, right?
So, Anchor rolled a 7, which is technically a fail, but I will nonetheless draw your attention to something, even if I don't give you any information. So, one thing that is missing from this room are the wolf fetuses that you pursued down here after only stopping to fend off a wolf and pick up the unconscious and one-handed shepherd. But illuminating the room is this yellow glowing stream that separates you from Erewhon and the back wall, and which seems to be moving.
Oh my
Not in the
God.
way that water in a stream flows, but more like as if it's alive, or there are living things pressed against the surface, hidden only by the faint glow.
This is unnatural.
Oh my God. Erhan wanted a
Sounds
wolf
like-
all along.
It sounds like a living flat Taurus.
How's Tank doing? Is he dead now that he's stuck his head in the acid, or is he just like?
He's not dead. His hair has fallen out. He is just on his knees, kind of trembling, and as the acid drains from the top of his scalp, you can see it's kind of burned and ravaged, and almost seems to be releasing smoke in places.
Right.
But he's muttering in a fervent high pitch to himself under his
No,
breath.
I'm not being funny, everyone, but
Must
should
be
we
clean myself.
put him out of his misery? What's everyone's viewpoint on that? Where do we stand on?
Is there anything we can do to help him?
At least give him a piece of bagel before you
No bagel.
end
No bagel.
his misery.
I don't think
Bagel?
that's.
I don't think he wants any.
Erewhon's bagels lie strewn about his feet.
Also, any bagels I ate a long time ago. My bagel days are behind me. I haven't known the warm touch of a bagel in many moons.
You shouldn't say things like that. It's dangerous.
Didn't you have one this morning?
Oh, it just feels.
I mean, in
How
game
did you?
time.
How do you know my eating?
Who said that?
Technically, I did. I had a bagel, Turkish bagel today.
I had a donut today.
There you go.
Same thing.
We are the true believers.
Come on task, people.
I had one of those party ring things, for icing.
Close enough.
Sorry.
I mean, honestly, the scene of all the bagels being strewn about the floor is more disturbing to my character than seeing Erewhon in his current state.
Are you saying you want to roll another grip check, or
Check.
No, I'm saying that's what disturbed him so much is
fair enough?
the sight of this strong bagel believer
In all seriousness, guys,
abandoning his faith.
this river does not look. I think we should back away. I think we should retrace our steps. There's nothing good for us here.
No, I think at least one of us or two of us should go and check what the heck
Can we set fire to the
Golden
river?
thing is. Well, I can shoot an arrow if we can put something. It's like a Molotov cocktail. We can make one.
I'm gonna burn.
Do we have any vodka?
We had some alcoholic stuff, I think.
Good thing I've got your character sheets here, so I can check your equipment lists, which of course you'll have filled out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like none of you are carrying anything. What a shame.
No, that was complacent. That
Well,
was.
I know I don't have anything to create a flame, so. Well, we are in a cave. We can just grab.
Well,
two.
you have what you need to light a torch.
Haven't we already got a torch lit, right?
We
Can't
have
we just
a torch.
stick it in the river?
Oh, you have a torch lit, do you?
I thought we did.
Interesting. Who's
Yeah.
carrying the torch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I am.
All right, Anchor, roll a wit check.
Cool. Again.
You're welcome. As if you haven't had enough acid on your face already. It's a 6+3, which is a success.
Hooray!
You remember just in time the effect of this flame on the slimy ceiling, and jump to the side just as a large glob of liquefied acid drops to where you were standing.
Well, hang on. We've had the torch all along, right? When did it become acidified?
Within the last 6 feet was when the slime on the walls and ceiling, you could deduce, originates from this stream, puddle, pool of slime. It seems to creep up along the walls, slightly dissolving everything as it creeps up. And because you're in a room, in a part of the cave containing this pool, that creep has happened here too. But it doesn't extend as far back as the previous chamber where you were fighting the wolf fetuses and then the already injured wolf. So Anka, realizing that this danger is problematic now, what do you do with that torch?
I mean, I think I can still throw it, right?
You can still throw it, yeah.
Very carefully.
This acid drip from the ceiling isn't like instantaneous. It's just if you hold the torch in one place for more than 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, okay. I'll be quick. So I'm gonna throw the torch.
Okay, you're throwing a torch at the pool, to the edge of the pool.
At the pool.
All right.
All in, baby.
Yeah. All in, not the edge.
I'm not going to make you
that seems
roll for
a bit
that. You're close.
dangerous.
You're close enough that you could just like carefully place it if you were.
Yeah, don't.
If you were careful about it.
I don't want any scars on my face. I'm already a scar face.
Yeah. Oh, the effect on your muscular shoulders. What a shame. So you throw your torch at this pool, and the first thing that happens is the flame illuminates beneath the surface, where you see that this writhing movement is created by the wolf fetuses. They seem to be traveling through the stream, several currents of them going in different directions under the surface, and traveling through it not like fish swimming through water, but more like bacteria swimming through a fluid, propelling themselves by deforming the backs of their gelatinous bodies. You even see one that seems to be carrying a fish in gooey appendages as it follows its companions in this stream.
My God.
And then the torch sinks a little into the surface of the liquid as it melts the surface. And you see the movement of these wolf fetuses become frenzied. Several of them rise to the surface and surround the flame, and even as they do so, it begins to splutter and bubbles rise around it. And a few of them splash Erwan, who doesn't visibly seem to react in pain, but shuffles backwards on his knees away from the edge, cowering, not in fear, but seeming to seek some privacy from this spectacle.
My God, that's horrific.
And then,
indeed,
two things happen in very quick succession. The entire surface of this liquid seems to burst open, as if it's releasing a thinner liquid within. But what's actually happened is that the surface has heated up enough that the viscous properties have changed in the way that you've seen before on the wolf hair that Erwan discovered outside, and in the liquefaction from the ceiling. And because the surface of the pool is raised by these wolf fetuses underneath, this acid begins to flow off the surface to either side, flowing towards you and towards Erwan. The second thing that happens is 3 wolf fetuses jump up onto the surface and drag what remains of this torch down into the goo, where it very quickly gets extinguished. So since Anka and Caradon are arbitrarily the closest to this scene. Both of you take a wit check. And Ben, I guess you can do one for Erewhon as well. Although that will be against the odds. All right. So Anchor got a 7 plus 3 is a 10. Nifty got an 11 plus 2, which is a 13.
Yep.
Both of them succeed and step quickly back, also pushing back their companions away from this wave of liquefied ectoplasm.
Cripes, that was a close one.
Erewhon, on the other hand, isn't so lucky. Rolled a 5 plus 1 total. I think Erewhon has 1 wit. Is that right?
That's right, as far as I remember.
And he rolls a 6 and doesn't react fast enough as this wave of acid laps over his legs, and he cries out in pain as the skin is almost instantly dissolved. He can no longer stand.
Okay. I don't think that counts as putting him out of his misery, but I think we learned a lot.
He's in substantially more misery now. Has anyone got a bow or anything? Like, is he actually dead, or is he?
My fellow bagel believer.
Arrowin is very much alive.
Okay.
I'm just sort of like rocking back and forth now.
Okay. Well, that didn't really tell us anything. Apart from don't do that again.
Well, I'm not sure they love fire.
No, but they. We're now without a lantern.
I mean, we've got more torches, so we can light another one when we leave this area. But
yeah, have we done everything that we want to hear?
Victor, roll an observation check.
Okay. I don't think.
All right. Victor takes one last conclusive look over the despairing scene of Erewhon Tank and the acid stream through which the wolf fetuses swim, and decides that it's not worth you staying here any longer. He turns around and leads the way for the 6 adventurers to march out of the cave.
Come on, everyone. I think we must leave Mr. Tank for now. He's we can't do anything for him now.
Well, what about the wolves in the stream?
I'm not sure. It's like a living organisms.
They're definitely in their element. I feel like any
placenta. So maybe if we don't touch them and find a way to go over.
Has everyone rolled an observation check in this room? No, I think Caradon didn't get a chance, right? You can roll one more if you like. All right, finally a successful one. Just as everyone else is leaving, Caradon notices that washed up in this wave of liquefied acid are the unmistakable parts of a couple of these wolf fetuses that seem to have been destroyed in the incandescence caused by Anchor's torch.
so it did some damage.
Was there something else that I wanted to tell you?
I'm sure there was. What are their weaknesses? And
they work too hard.
Yeah.
People pleasing.
Yeah. Their greatest weakness, they work too hard.
Yeah.
They're too punctual.
Too detail orientated.
Too much attention to detail.
Yeah, they're too enthusiastic about teamwork, I guess. All right, so the other thing I wanted to observe is that now you know what? Anchor's torch revealed that the wolf fetuses were in this stream and that they are swimming. There are enough of them visible that you know that they must be swimming from this to some other chamber or area, possibly to collect something. Who knows? But this pool that is before you isn't an isolated pool of goo. It's connected to the other larger pools that you've seen.
Right. It's part of the greater goover.
Yes.
The greater goo.
The greater goo. I wonder if we've got a source. Like,
It's probably not a very good sauce.
Very spicy.
Well, it's like honey, right?
Hot sauce.
It's like honey, but backwards.
Like reverse honey.
No, honey
It's
is acidic.
put back into bees.
So it is extremely acidic honey.
You could sort of unglaze a ham in it.
I think we've done the reverse honey bit before, so I think
Yeah, it was an epic callback.
Yeah. Okay, so are the parts of the wolf fetuses, are they things that have been destroyed by the torch, or do we get the impression that there are just kind of parts of fetuses floating in the stream?
They've been destroyed by the torch.
Okay, so they don't like fire. Probably.
Indeed. But it's kind of a double-edged situation.
Yeah.
The acid that is released by the fire will also hurt you if you're not careful.
I mean, you can't make an omelette without reverse honey.
Of course, it's one of the main ingredients in any omelette.
How about this? Since I have a longbow, if we can try to make some like a flamey arrow, that might be less dangerous for us.
The thing is that I think there are so many. The impression I get is that there are so many fetuses in this stream, which is not a sentence I love, that we'd just kind of be wasting arrows.
Yeah, there's little point in shooting arrows into a stream of viscous goo anyway. But Anchor, roll a wit check. This not as a reaction this time, just to work out a potentially useful plan. You rolled a 9 plus 3, which is a 12.
Imagine asking Anchor to roll a wit check. I mean, you might as well just carry on with the plan.
I know, right? A plan which occurs to Anchor after her initial idea of the flaming arrows is that this goo, unnatural as it is, must indeed have some kind of source. Delicious. And so, if you can cut off the source, these creatures seem like, given that they spend most of their time within the goo, they're unlikely to survive very long if that source is interrupted. So
it is like a placenta.
It's just, well, maybe amniotic fluid would be more appropriate because babies don't live in the placenta.
What?
No. What?
I mean, someone's been giving you false
That's
information.
news to me. Babies live in the stomach.
Yeah.
These babies certainly do.
So much acid. Okay.
Sweet
do we know which
pee is stored in the balls?
So wait, are they feeding from the stream? Then
which way does the stream flow? Is it left to right or right to left?
Because of the movement of the fetuses within it. Again, I was briefly desensitized to the idea of wolf fetuses swimming through a stream, but that is pretty horrific.
Fetuses in the stream, this is who we are.
Baby, you and me. I mean, you did.
Are we gonna take another grip check?
No, we're fine with this. So you did paint a picture of like them forming flagella and kind of swimming as fetuses,
which
is interesting. But yeah, I did consider the source of the honey.
Yeah, if we know which way it's flowing in, we can just go the other way.
Well, from a quick lay of the land check, you've been going downhill most of your time in this cave, which means that the part of the stream that you're currently looking at is definitely below the pool that you distantly saw earlier, and so it must be flowing on the map from left to right, which is from west to east.
So we've got to go back up
Where
a bit.
you got to go back up.
Well, I mean, that kind of depends on what shape the Earth is, right? Because if it's flowing around the bagel, from the inside out, then that's different to kind of round the surface of the bagel, right?
With Arawan gone, there's only Anchor to answer that kind of question.
Well, technically, you will arrive to the same point, but the journey will be longer depending on which direction you want to go.
Yes, the parable of the river on the bagel.
It's entirely heretical, I tell you.
Journey to the center of the bagel.
All right, kids. Your next obstacle, as you retreat, leaving Arawan a acid-soaked mess behind you, is the ledge beneath which you found Mabel and Harold in the first place.
Okay, so we need to get back up.
Yeah, I guess climb back up the ledge,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, we left the road, didn't we? Just for this very eventuality.
Yep.
That was a different ledge, I'm afraid.
Mate, how many ledges are there in this cave?
Wait.
It's not my fault I'm a legend.
Oh, damn, it was. Oh, this was just the slight slope. Well, not slight. That's just a drop, wasn't it?
No, this is big. This is actually bigger than the other ledge. But there are four of you. You can teamwork it.
Pyramid.
Just all of you do brawn checks to see how this teamwork goes.
Are we going to form a human pyramid?
Okay, let's make a human pyramid.
Luckily, Victor von Braun. Call me Victor von Braun. Oh shit! I rolled a 5, ladies and gents.
5 plus 2 is a 7, which is definitely a failure. Meanwhile, we have a 9 plus 1 for Nifty.
Yeah.
Caradon.
Yes.
Which is a definite success. Mabel rolled a 3 plus, it doesn't matter, that's a fail.
No, that was me.
You're right. Anchor rolled a 3 plus 1, which is definitely a failure. Mabel similarly failed with a 2 plus 1, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Vitellius did scarcely better with a 5 plus 0. So, great teamwork, guys.
Well, it's going to be like the beginning.
Is it?
Caradon takes the lead
and pull myself up before everyone else.
Pulls himself up, reaches an arm down, and confidently grabs Harold, but with a complete lack of teamwork on the lower side of the ledge. It's just dead weight hanging on the end of your arm.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
It's going to be like the beginning of the Avengers film. Like they're not coherent. They're not all working together. But you wait. We're going to have that one bit when they're all fighting in New York and the camera zooms around them in the circle. We're aiming for that.
Yeah.
We're going to get that.
And we'll have that Civil War bit as well.
No, not that. No. I didn't really understand it, so I was given that.
No, sorry, you've invoked the Avengers now.
Oh,
the
no.
full canon will
Disney
unroll.
is coming for us. Hello, Pluto. He's here. Okay. Plan B.
So what's the situation? I'm still up on the ledge, and then everyone else is down below.
Yeah, bickering about how you're going to lift Harold up, even while Caradon is holding Harold's arm.
Yeah.
Harold's just hanging.
Okay, we could probably put Harold down, right, first.
Do you have any rope?
Do any of us...
Oh. Well, you've gone to the trouble of carrying him around. It seems a shame to put him down now.
I mean,
he's
just hanging off my arm,
It's
right?
just a kindness.
You didn't even manage to put Erwan down.
Oh yeah, he's just burnt.
I mean... Yeah, I feel like we could have done something there, but you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamie. Sorry, Jamie. Do you have any rope?
Probably.
Yeah, you still have rope left.
Yeah.
You didn't use yours in the,
Okay, carried in.
So I
in the
think
rope puzzle earlier.
I think we could make some kind of
a hoist.
rope hoist stretcher thing.
Yeah,
All right.
if you tie it around his like waist, maybe.
Let's not overthink this, guys. You know what?
How high is it?
Does one of you have an ad hoc plan that you can just
Well, if it's not too high,
propose?
can we just like give people legs up to the ledge and then Jamie, sorry, carried in, grabs them?
Yeah, I believe I established it was about 10 feet.
Okay, so not that.
No, I mean, that's small enough that if you give someone a leg up, they can, or you get a running jump,
Okay,
then you
I'm
can.
struggling to picture how high 10 feet is, but yeah.
Well, I'm 6 feet tall.
So one and a bit of you.
Let me check how high a basketball hoop is.
We're gonna dunk on the ledge.
We're gonna dunk Harold. Now, if I go far enough and throw him, I'll get a 3-pointer.
Yeah, 10 feet. I was right. Cool.
Nice. Okay, right.
Okay.
So it's
I'm
as high as a
gonna give
basketball
everyone
hoop.
legs up.
Okay, we're gonna dunk from the rope. We make a net.
Right,
and,
everyone.
We find a hoop.
Right, everyone. I'm gonna give you a leg up. Okay.
You do have the remains of a wolf there.
I mean, we could use the wolf as a step, but
Yeah, right. That reduces it to 9 feet. That's pretty good.
That lesser known.
Isn't it covered in goo?
Yeah, it's gross, obviously, but
No,
You
not
can- you
because
can-
gross. It's still acid.
That
Could
lesser
you kind
known.
of try and use the wolf as a springboard? Like, jump on it and then sort of bounce up.
Just, I'm offering you guys a leg up, and you're trying to bounce off dead and sitting walls.
this is how much trust that people put in your legs up.
Oh, it's like that book by Kazuo Ishiguro,
All right.
Remains of the Wolf.
After 10 to 15 minutes of discussion and litigation, you come up with a system where Victor has 1 foot on the carcass of a wolf,
For some
giving everyone
reason.
else legs up to the ledge, and then Victor ties a rope around Harold's waist, kind of harness style, and carefully helps him as the others pull him up from the top of the ledge.
I mean,
Victor, roll one more brawn check to get up yourself.
Sure.
really, it's a foolproof plan.
Why is my foot on this wolf? Oh, for God's sake.
Just to give you a bit of height.
Not a 3.
Okay, we'll come back from later, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mabel.
Victor has to wait a further few minutes while
maybe he can find some more wolves to stack on top of this one. He can make a little staircase of dead wolves.
We could use the acid.
I'm just imagining.
You could use the acid to carve steps out in the ledge, as it were. You just eroded
Just
the
imagine a
rock
time
away.
lapse of this.
Yeah, I feel like that might take a while.
I had in my mind all of you getting pitchforks out and like an army of wolves coming, and you just like flipping them over you with your pitchforks to form a stack that Victor can climb.
I mean, that was the plan. But there don't seem to be like 50 wolves running at us right now, so, which is a blessing and a
there
curse.
aren't.
Someone just help me up.
Yeah, no, the only consequence of that failed brawn check is that Victor has to wait several more minutes while Harold is untied in order for the rope to be free and for the others to pull him up. Or just give him a rope to cling to in order to get up to this ledge.
Valuable minutes.
Valuable minutes, indeed.
Poor man's so shaken by what he's seen, he can't even pull himself up.
Well, you know, it's hard to get up in the morning. So
I mean, we're all in
imagine being
mourning.
deep in a cave. What, for Slimy?
No, for Erwan,
He's not dead
our
yet.
friend and companion. He's functionally gone.
Right. There's one more avenue that we haven't explored yet.
Indeed.
There is a path to our right, glowing ominously.
Okay, lead the way, my dear Victor.
Okay, it's time to put a stop to this wolf eater's gooey menace. Once and for all.
Very snappy.
Yeah. I'm a knight, I'm not a poet.
So Mabel has Harold on her back again, and the rest of the adventurers form a train in front of her to explore this tunnel. Victor proceeds cautiously, since you haven't lit a new torch and you don't know how far you can go without activating the ceiling goo, so to speak.
I'm just a very cautious person anyway.
Yeah.
Victor, he's renowned for his care.
Yeah.
I tried to come up with some wordplay on Victor Von Thorn, but
Victor Forlorn.
that's not it.
It's not appropriate, but I'll put that in the back pocket.
I'm definitely calling episode 5 "Activate the Ceiling Goo." That's a great episode title.
I'm glad you said it out loud, so you'll remember later.
Exactly. That's why I said it out loud.
Buy milk.
Yeah.
So when I listen to this podcast later, I'll remember to buy milk. Do you guys mind if I cut the podcast or just leave myself recording? Yeah.
Anyone else want to get one in while we're at it?
Edit podcast.
Well, I mean, as long as we keep producing episodes, that will always be relevant.
I always need milk, right?
All right.
Do some push-ups.
That was not a note to self. That was just instructions.
Instruction to the audience.
This is what
Okay, I'm just going to roll a prawn check.
Okay, during this next section, I want you to give me 10. We'll
Please
do
enjoy this
some
podcast. It's part of a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, we'll do some funny role play, and you get down and give me 10.
10 what? I'll have to wait and see.
10 bottles of milk.
It's a good thing we told you to buy milk before. So, Victor is the first to arrive at the next section of this stream of viscous goo, which blocks his path. You've just come through a narrow, mostly unlit tunnel, but which you were able to make your way through unaided because the light from this glowing stream reflected off the smooth walls. Just enough for you to make out where you were placing your feet. Opposite, on the other side of the stream, is a narrow walkway, and on the right-hand side, the wall of the tunnel continues across this stream. The stream tunnels underneath it, and the wall continues to a small chamber, which you can't get a good view into from this side of the stream. I guess Victor also makes the connection, which the players can see on the map in front of them, that this stream connects continuously to the section of the stream that they saw earlier when they were climbing down the remains of the ladder from the first ledge they encountered.
The third in the trilogy by Kazuo Ishiguro.
What?
Remains of the ladder. He wrote a book called Remains of the Day.
Oh.
And Remains of the Wolf, you said earlier.
I'm afraid we have a limit for Kazuo Ishiguro quotes or references in the podcast.
References.
Never let me go.
I laughed, but I didn't get the reference either.
It's okay.
All right, so you're in single file in this section of tunnel. Victor, eyeing up the scene in front of him, establishes or determines that it's too wide for someone who's carrying someone on their back to jump over. You're also quite conscious of the fact that this cave is connected enough that if you make any large amount of noise here, then it could alert the wolves that you saw sleeping, I guess a few hours ago now, in the first chamber that you came across.
Yes. Are any fetuses floating in this pool, in this stretch of the river?
You lean over and take a close look, and you see that indeed there do seem to be some.
Damn. Okay. It looks as though Mabel, that you won't be able to surpass this jump. I'm afraid. Not with Harold weighing you down.
Oh no. Okay, what are we gonna do?
Well, you must try and be strong without me, but I will return. Have no fear.
Wait, what? I thought we could go back around.
What?
Should,
What do you
should,
mean?
shouldn't we go? Like the whole cave is connected, right? We could just go back
Right,
around.
so you want to go back in the loop?
Can't we just use Slimy's body as a bridge or something like that?
Or just step on wolf fetuses across the river.
You guys are obsessed with stepping on dead things. Human
It's just like
condition.
Frogger.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have to split up. Maybe go around in the loop and then end up, well, just where the. You mean back the way we came through all the square tunnels? And...
It's an option.
Yeah, I think without Erewhon, I think I'm less confident in just plowing forwards and hoping for the best.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Okay, before you turn around, Victor, since you're the one at the head of the party,
Mm-hmm.
make an observation check.
Will do. Come on. Big roll. No, it was a 5.
There's a 5.
Sorry, guys, I've
Right,
doomed us all.
Do I get carried on to make one? Nope. That's it. Okay. So rather than making you play through all of that cave system, I'm going to do a time skip.
I'm
Bing bong.
La, 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 la.
sure Jamie will put in a good sound effect. Right.
I'll just
here.
put in the Batman one.
Yeah.
I wonder what the copyright.
You don't need to
on
put
that.
one in now because my rendition was perfect.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Returning through the man-made cave system that Vitellius recognizes and despairs at the sorry state of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my lord.
That'll
What the
do.
decay.
You come to the crevice in the wall, which is connected to the entrance of the cave that you originally came through. It's a tight squeeze, and in Vitellius's time, it was covered by a carpet to obscure it from being discovered from the other side. But that carpet is long gone, and I remember one of you working out the connection with the front of the cave. I tell you this in case you want to any of you want to try and squeeze through this, or if you're going to carry on back to the main part of the cave.
Would now be a good time to try and get Mabel and Harold out before we have to fight any more wolves?
I'm assuming they're pretty small. I mean, Harold's missing parts of his body, so he can probably get through.
Could we not widen the passage by using acid to reverse honey?
Use the
You have
acid.
to collect some, although this will test your episodic memory, so to speak. Sir Arthur Estracar had a vial of this ectoplasm. Do you remember if he gave it to one of you?
I don't
Before
believe
you
Yes.
left on this mission?
He did.
Oh yeah, I
I-
distinctly remember him giving us the
I
vial.
remember it like it was several months ago. He said, "Victor, you look like a good man."
I remember it too.
He said,
All right.
"You're a great and noble man.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Take this.
this ectoplasm."
It will show you the way when all other light is lost."
Okay, in order to use the acid in that way, you'd have to collect some.
And we probably don't have any suitable.
I feel like that would just make the tunnel more dangerous because then you would have to squeeze through the acid as well.
Delicious.
Mabel, give it a
I
go.
should also remind you that you picked up a hammer and chisel in this particular cave system.
We did.
Yes, I also remember that.
Okay. Should we?
But wouldn't that make some noise?
We are.
You're in a part of the cave where it doesn't matter too much because you established that the wolves wouldn't be able to access this part.
Yeah,
At
Okay.
least not easily. They'd
we're
have to be
blocked
pretty
in, aren't we,
desperate.
by all the rocks and stuff.
Do any of us have a poster of Rita Hayworth?
I always carried with me at all
And-
times.
and a spoon. No, we could
We've
try.
got a
We could try
chisel.
using the hammer and chisel. It might be more efficient than the spoon method.
Yeah, we're not in prison now.
I'll
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
Yeah, we could try some widening.
Yeah, I think we should.
I mean, Victor is obviously the brawniest one, as
Yeah.
evidenced
Right.
by recent events.
Yeah,
So
but
maybe he should try.
I'll give it a go. But I feel like it's more like got more finesse. Is this going to be a brawn check or a wit check or a?
I think you're just trying to lop off any bits of the edge of this crevasse that you can.
Okay, I'm good at lopping off bits. Oh, I run a 7 + 2 is 9. Yeah, we're in business.
All right. Victor von Thorn takes some determined whacks of the hammer on the metal chisel, and cracks quickly begin to show in this ancient limestone surface. And it isn't long before you've managed to remove a few chunks just around this crevice, enough to make it a bit easier for someone to squeeze through, and in particular to make it easier for someone to pull someone else through.
That's what I was going for.
All right. Success. Now, no, you know what? Let's get to a more convenient location before I give you that particular tidbit.
Oh, good.
All
Why don't Maud and Harold go through the gap? And
Maud?
I mean,
Maud? Did you call her Maud?
Maud isn't that her name? Oh, Mabel, that's it.
Good sir.
I'll cut that. It's fine. I mean, the only thing is, do we want to go in first and check, or send someone first to check that it actually goes out of the cave? Because I think we should stay in the cave because our job is to, do something about the wolves. Although it's good information, we could go back, but we could stay in the cave, but we need to check that they're not going to just die on the way out.
I think the listeners want us to stay in the cave and fight some wolves.
I think we should take a vote at this point.
The listeners.
We'll put out a Twitter poll, and we'll resume recording when the results are in.
Calls cost 50p a second.
No.
Okay.
You don't get help on this decision. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Put yourselves together, people.
Press
You're
one
cryptdiggers now.
on your keypad now to stay in the cave.
Could I fit through this hole? Is it big enough? Or am I too broad?
You're wearing armor, right?
Yeah.
You've widened the hole enough that even you could squeeze through. Although you should probably go last or you should probably go after someone and before someone else because you're going to need people pulling and pushing from both sides in order for you to squeeze through.
Okay. Anchor. Does Anchor want to maybe do it? Because I feel like I'm too big. We just need to check that there's no wolves on the other side before.
I mean, Anchor is relatively small. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go
check it.
Onwards.
Go check it out.
Let's make short work of this. Anchor squeezes through, slithers through, wiggles through, and discovers that this crevice, just as she suspected, connects with the entrance of the cave. In fact, it's the third of the 3 forks that you saw when you first got down into these tunnels.
Oh, maybe we should have taken that one then.
Yeah.
just as she arrives, she makes an observation check.
Sure. I feel like a wolf is coming.
All right, you roll a 6. That fails. But, I mean, you establish that this tunnel goes where you said it would, so you return to the others and tell them that everything's okay.
Everything is okay. Come on in.
The water's warm.
If you can.
Okay. Mabel, if we do not meet again.
I mean, we should see them out of the cave, right? We shouldn't just say, "Oh, go down this tunnel. It's
Well-
great."
It's going to be a bit of a job for me, so I'm just going to say bye now.
You just can't be bothered to squeeze through.
Well, it's going to be effort for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. All right.
You're coming back. Are you coming back? Anyway, I say something really.
No.
I say something really.
I'll
What's going
stay
on?
here.
I say something really meaningful to Mabel as she leaves the tunnel.
Oh, thank you.
What do you say?
I said something really meaningful.
Do you whisper it? Is it for her ears only? Or
Yeah,
are you not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
tell the listeners?
Yeah, it's like in films when the writers can't actually think of anything to write, but they just have that scene where one person whispers in someone else's ears and then they start crying. That's what I'm going for.
Oh, such lazy writing.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I feel like Victor could whisper a lot of things in a woman's ear that could make her start crying. But,
Come find me at the camp. Come find me at the cryptdigger camp. Here's my room key.
All right, who's going through after Anka, accompanying the two shepherds?
I'll go
Since
through.
that seems to be the plan.
I
Alright.
mean, we can try to enlarge the hole. I don't know. Maybe with
It's
my
going to take
arrow?
several hours. The far end of this tunnel through which you entered is very narrow. You were able to break open the crack at the end, which was connecting it to the man-made part, but it's still narrow enough that you had to squeeze through the first few feet. So, what's Vitellius doing?
I think Vitellius is going to hang back and keep an eye on the approach from the north.
All right.
Yeah, we can chat about how things used
He
to
is
be
not
hundreds of
particularly
years ago.
invested in the fate of the shepherds, and is frankly indifferent.
Cool. The splitting the party is probably good for Ben's sake here, because as Anka, Caradon, and the two shepherds enter the opening chamber of this cave system for the third and second time, respectively, they come face to face with someone that could not be more welcome in this most unpleasant of adventures.
Father Christmas.
It's none other than Stephen de Pretis.
Yay!
Greetings.
Oh, Stephen, you won't believe what we've seen.
Oh, I've had plenty of years in this cryptdigging company. I don't think anything could surprise me.
Errolwan went crazy and started pouring acid on his head.
Stephen will take a grip check right now.
He rolled a 3.
Stephen rolls
Plus,
a 3.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh God. Everyone. Even everyone. Did you at least put him out of his misery?
Oh, we tried. We tried.
We forgot. I'm
You
not
tried.
here.
You tried and failed.
Victor, you're not here.
It's even worse. You got now.
We tried our hardest, but
You-
there's a strange substance, and there's these wolves, these wolf fetuses.
We know about the wolves. Wolf fetuses? Why would wolf fetuses be the worst thing here? I mean, you could handle them, surely.
They swim through this ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm. Yes, ectoplasm, like my good friend Arthur Estracar showed us.
Yeah, that one.
I see. That's fascinating. So how much of the ectoplasm is there in this place?
Oh, shitloads.
If there's shitloads of ectoplasm, there's shitloads of money to be made. We're sitting on a goddamn gold mine.
Thank you for listening to A Bell Chimes. You can find us at abellchimes.com. You can email us at achimingbell@gmail.com or send us a message on Twitter at abellchimes.
Rid of the old Colombian talcum powder.
I feel like that's a bit too much.